afternoon. I am Judge Benson. Is there a PD in Maine, or is it just you, Mr. Reedy? We have a public defender, an attorney who works for the public defender, Mr. Romero.
Good afternoon.
How was your break, sir?
Not much of a break. I was working through lunch.
So was Mr. Reedy.
Yeah.
You guys are
too darn dedicated. That's what it is.
That's what I'm thinking. Good afternoon. I am Judge Benson. You are here for your first appearance or magistrate hearing, the purpose of which is to determine whether or not there's probable cause to hold you on the charges for which you were arrested, whether or not you have counsel, and whether we can determine that there are reasonable conditions for your release. Please be advised of several things. Mr. Romero and Mr. Reedy are from the Law Office of the Public Defender's Office. They are attorneys, and I am appointing them provisionally to represent you during this matter. At a later time, you may be asked to fill out paperwork in order for the PD's office to continue with that representation, but they are your lawyers for purposes of today, unless you have counsel or you are refusing the office of the public defender. If you do have a lawyer and when you come up, your lawyer's not here, just let us know that lawyer's name and their phone number, and we will contact him or her so that they can be here, and we'll put your case on a short recall because we do want you to have the benefit of the counsel of your choice. Also, it is very important for you to remember that the lawyers that are here will speak for you. If you have something you want the court to know about, please let them know, or please let your lawyer know, because everything that's being said today is being recorded, and it is available to the prosecutor just by touching a button, and they can use that against you later on at any hearing or trial if they so desire. Also, that goes for anything you say on the phone in the jail. All of that gets recorded, and nobody has to let you know, but the prosecutor can obtain recordings of that and use it against you later at a hearing or trial. So please be aware of that while you're in custody. Thirdly, I will determine whether or not a bond can be, or there are conditions of release so that we can, so that you won't have to continue incarceration. We're going to make every effort to help you with that. Have I covered it, Mr. Romero?
Yes, Joe.
Okay. With that, Carolyn Graham Robest.
Ms. Robest is here present at Maine. She's coming up.
Okay. Good afternoon, Ms. Robest. You're charged with missing court in traffic case 16-50925 TC20A. Is that correct, Mr. Butterworth?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What say you, Mr. Romero?
Judge, in speaking to Ms. Robest, she's inquiring if the court would consider resolving the matter here today.
Okay. What is the case? I just have the capias.
Count one would be a driving while license suspended. Count two, failure to register a vehicle, and I believe count three, unlawful a license tag or sticker attached.
What does her driving record look like?
Look it up now.
Mr. Butterworth. We're going to try to help you, Ms. Robest. Just hang on a second, okay?
Okay.
Deal suspended, Judge. I see a DWLS adjudication in 2011, a DWLS adjudication without knowledge in 2012. Those are the only criminal or strikeable offenses I see on the DL record.
So, Ms. Robest, if you want to resolve your case today, I'm going to withhold adjudication as to driving while license suspended and take judicial notice of the time that you've spent in jail, and also waive your traffic fines and court costs, and I'll dismiss count 2 and 3. However, I would urge you that if you get arrested while you're driving again without a valid license, you're going to find yourself unable to get a license and back in jail, and you might end up spending more time and effort. So you know you can make partial payments online. You don't have to have all the money you need for your fines. You can go online and make the partial payments, but you've got to get this worked out, okay?
Okay.
All right, you'll get that resolved today. Thank you very much. Yes, waiving all fines. And dismissing 2 and 3. Okay, Stephanie Starling.
Sterling's in the Northborough Detention Center, Your Honor. She would like to resolve these matters this morning, or this afternoon.
Ms. Starling, you're charged with disorderly conduct in count 1, trespass and failure to leave a property on count 2, and a misdemeanor capias in count 3. What says the state?
State's offer, Judge, will be a withholding court cost on each count.
Okay. Ms. Starling, if you want to get this matter resolved, then that would mean waiving your right to a trial, to have a lawyer represent you at the trial, to call witnesses on your behalf, to testify or not to testify, to cross-examine the witnesses presented by the prosecutor, and to appeal the outcome if you're unhappy with it. The court will withhold adjudication, take judicial notice of the time you've served, and waive all costs and fines. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay, then that's what we're gonna do. Thank you very much, ma'am, I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Steve Francois?
Conti.
Yes, sir.
Conti?
Thank you, Deputy. Good afternoon, Mr. Francois. Let me take a second and say I notice that there's people in the audience. When I get to the individual that you're here on behalf of, just step right up and I'll take a break, okay? Mr. Francois, you're charged with failure to appear in court on case number 17-44626, TC20A. What say you, Mr. Reedy? What say you, Mr. Butterworth?
Judge, state's offer will be a withholding court cost if he's willing to resolve today.
Mr. Francois, if you'd like to waive your right to a trial and to have discovery done on your behalf and to call witnesses at your trial and to cross-examine...
Your Honor, if I may interrupt,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Francois has 2 current no-bond violation of probation holds. I would advise him not to resolve any matters at this time.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Reedy.
I wasn't gonna resolve. I got locked up the day before I had the court, so that's why I missed court.
Okay, well, I'm gonna leave your bond at $1,000 pending the outcome of the other cases. Thank you, Mr. Francois. Jamal Marquise Edge.
Judge, I've been advised he bonded.
Okay, thank you. Edgard Lazard. Is he with
Judge,
you?
he's en route, is what I'm being told.
Okay, then we'll wait on Mr. Lazard. I'll put him to the side. Willie Trayvon Jones.
Mr. Jones is here. Judge, he has private counsel, Mr. Randall Hoff.
Can somebody call Mr. Haas's office to see if he intends on appearing? Are you here? Oh, good afternoon. Your mom, I think it's your mom. I'm sorry, Mom.
I'm definitely, that's who I am.
Okay.
I talked to Mr. House, and he got caught in doing deposition in Miami.
Okay.
And he was on his way, so I don't know if he's gonna make it here on time, but he was trying.
Can you, what we can do, Ms.
You want me to call him, try to call him again?
Yes, ma'am, and let him know if he wants to appear by phone. I'm happy to put him on the phone.
Okay,
Thank
let me
you
go
very
call
much.
him. Thank you.
Mr. Jones, okay. No, it's dismissed. 2 and 3.
Where?
I need to take,
She has a capias, so she was in custody, and then
we resolved it.
how was the capias resolved?
I resolved the, if the case.
She did withheld, I thought she did withheld.
Okay, that's what I said, withheld and judicial notice on all 3. That obviously dismisses the capias. If I have adjudicated the case, the capias is no longer outstanding, okay? Thank you. Thomas Watt?
Mr. Thomas White is here, approaching Judge at Maine.
Okay, Mr. Watt, you're charged with driving while license suspended, and they filed it as a felony because it's your 3rd or subsequent offense. So what say you, Mr. Romero?
Judge, I know Mr. Thomas advised me that he's out on release on another case. However, he's 55 years old, been residing here his whole life. He lives in Tamarack. He takes care of his mother. His mother is 84 years old. She's disabled, and he's the one that that takes care of her. He just got a job at IHOP. He's a cook. He's going to be making $12.50. He works the graveyard shift. Judge, I'd ask you to, the case that he's out on, I believe he may be out on straight bond. If that's the case, Your Honor, I'd be asking you if you would consider releasing him on pretrial supervision. So therefore he could still, work and take care of his mom.
What say you, PTR? Mr. Thomas, how are you gonna get to work? And how are you gonna take care of your mother if you don't have a vehicle?
Because where I live at, IHOP is no more than a mile and a half away.
Okay,
I live off of 64, and IHOP is on University,
okay, sir,
right there in Tamarack.
okay. What say
Down on
you?
bond, Your Honor.
Right, what say you, PTR?
If the court release him, we'll supervise him, but we're not recommending him having a pending case, Your Honor.
Right. Well, I understand. Mr. Watt, I am gonna release you to PTR. You're on a level 1, well, he can't be if he's walking, right?
Level 2.
Okay, so level 2, monitor. No driving. What can we do with your car? Can we disable the car?
No, we cannot.
Do you own this car?
Is he the owner of the car?
I believe he does own the vehicle.
He says it's his car.
Usually in other divisions, what the judge will order him to do when they place him on pre-trial, have him surrender the tag registration.
You will surrender your tag, your registration, and your car keys. Within 24 hours of your release. You can I want you to go to work, and you go to the grocery store once a week. Mr. Thomas.
Where I stay,
Judge, he's informing me of a situation, I guess in the apartment complex that he lives with, I guess in their bylaws, he can't have a tag parked in the parking lot without a tag.
Somebody needs to, you need to put that, you need to put that car in somebody else's driveway then, sir. If you've lived here all your life, isn't there somebody that will let you have the car in the driveway?
yes.
Okay, then that's what you're gonna do.
Or he could always bond out for $750.
Yes, sir, well, yeah, your bond is $750. Your choices are to follow my directions on PTR or put up the $750 to bond out.
Let me talk to him.
Okay?
I don't have the cash, right?
Okay, Judge, he would appreciate, going in the pretrial and I guess abiding by the court's, instructions.
Okay, so you will be released to pretrial. You'll be on level 2. You'll surrender your tag, registration, and keys within 24 hours. You're not driving that car to someone else's driveway. Someone else has to come and get the car and then bring you back the keys for you to take them over to PTR, okay, Mr. Thomas?
Okay.
Good luck. Yes. I'm sorry, just a second. What PTR?
Driver's license also.
The driver's license as well, the Florida driver's license. Okay,
Judge, my understanding is that police, he said the police officer has his driver's license property.
okay, if it's not in your possession and the police officer has it, okay. Is that okay, PTR? All right, thank you. Nathaniel Treadway?
He's in,
Okay, Nathaniel Treadway's on recall, he's en route. Scott Mayberry? Good afternoon, Mr. Mayberry. You're charged with petty theft in the second degree. It's your third offense, which makes it a felony, punishable by 5 years in Florida State Prison. What say you, Mr. Romero?
Judge, it's me, Mr. Mayberry. He's 61 years old. He's been here since he was 40 years old. Judge, he's homeless. He's not working. However, he does say he has a mailing address. The mailing address that he uses is of a bicycle shop. He actually knows the owner, and from what he advised me, the owner lets him receive mail there. Judge, I'd ask you at this time to consider releasing Mr. Mayberry on standard pretrial. He could report, and any future court notices could be sent to the mailing address that he provides.
What's the name of the bicycle shop, Mr. Mayberry?
The bicycle spot
And where is it? Up on, is it Dixie?
on Dixie, a commercial.
That's right. Mayberry. There you go. We're gonna check that out. In the meantime, Madam PTR, what do you say to Mr. Mayberry being released to PTR?
Mr. Mayberry, he has an extensive criminal history, Your Honor, which includes armed robbery conviction.
When?
That was in New Hampshire, 1975. He was released from Florida State Prison July of last year, and we're showing no action.
When?
Looking at that arson was in 82. I'm looking at 2 robbery convictions.
What did he go to prison for?
The last time.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me see what he did. Is it burglary? Yes, Your Honor. Last conviction was burglary.
I know that doesn't sound that great, Judge, but we're still talking about a bottle of wine here.
My problem is they filed it as a third. I can't.
I know you can't resolve it, but I don't think you need to keep him in jail for that either.
Right. Oh, that's where I'm at. Right. Can somebody call the bicycle spot on Dixie and Commercial and see if they do in fact accept his mail, and we'll put him on a short recall? Roche Smith. Bonded on the, but he's on a no bond on the VOP. Yes.
Yes, count 4.
Good afternoon, Mr. Smith. You are charged with carrying. I'm good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. I got my son is coming in a couple days.
Okay, sir. Well, you're charged with carrying a concealed firearm. You're charged with possession with intent to sell cannabis. You're charged with too dark a windshield, and you're charged with violating your probation in case number 16-11866 CF10A. I do find probable cause as to all counts. On count 1, your bond is $1,000. Count 2, your bond is $1,000. Count 3, you are ROR'd. And count 4, there is no bond for based on the VOP. You are going before your judge on November 14th at 9 o'clock a.m. for the VOP. Thank you very much, sir.
Excuse me. Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I had paid the bond.
Well, not on the VOP. That's a no bond hold. I don't know how, unless there's a bond on the VOP I wasn't told about.
No, I paid the first 2.
Okay, but you are on a no, that, you have bonded then on counts 1 and 2, and you are out on count 3. However, you remain in custody on your violation of probation. You will go before that judge on November 15th. I wish you all the best, sir. Ashton Harris.
I've been informed Mr. Paris bonded, Judge.
Okay.
You can recall Mr. Mayberry, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Mayberry, Scott Lloyd Mayberry, come on back up. What have you got on Mr. Mayberry?
I spoke with the folks at the bicycle spot, and they confirmed that Mr. Mayberry can get his mail there.
Okay, so Mr. Mayberry, I am going to release you to pretrial release.
You on a standard supervision or
Standard.
okay, does he have an address where he's gonna be living? Because he did decline pre-trial. He stated that he doesn't have a place to
I can't hear what's going on, Judge.
She says pretrial release is indicating he does not qualify for pretrial release based on his, because he refused it.
But that's up to you, Judge.
Mr. Mayberry, you refuse pretrial release, so you're gonna stay in. You wanna do that? You wanna stay in jail because you're refusing pretrial release? Okay, you did not?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so if pretrial release sends a notice to your address
We have
at,
no address, Your Honor.
no, we have, what's the address of the bicycle shop, Mr. Reedy?
5074 North Dixie Highway in Oakland Park, 33334.
In the event anything occurs, a mailing address is one thing, a physical address is another, because he appears to have no stable residence.
I understand that.
That's what
Mr. Mayberry, you are hereby ordered to go to the bike shop every single day and ask them if you've received any mail. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
He needs to report to pretrial tomorrow, no later than.
You are hereby ordered that if you receive a letter from pretrial release, you are to immediately call them. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You are hereby ordered that if they tell you to go to pretrial release, you have to find a way down here to report, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
When,
Let him know he needs to report tomorrow by noon.
okay, all right, I'm getting there. Just give me a sec. We do not have a court date for you yet, okay? Do you understand? Do you understand that, Mr. Mayberry?
Yes, ma'am.
So you might get letters from the clerk, and you might get letters from pretrial release. You have to open everything, and if you can't read it, you have somebody read it to you. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. You have to go and report to pretrial release within 24 hours of your release. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're not gonna let me down, are you?
No, ma'am.
You're gonna show up to court, aren't you?
Absolutely.
Mr. Romero, are you giving him the map for pretrial release? Okay. All right, so I'm releasing you to pretrial release.
Pretrial's
Okay,
across the
thank you,
street.
Your Honor.
You're welcome, Mr. Mayberry.
Over the line, and that's pretrial, and that's where you go tomorrow, okay, before noon time, all right? Good luck, sir.
Thank you.
Now am I to Travis Whitfield now? Y'all want me to call, we have a
If we could put him
phone,
on recall, Judge?
that's okay, we have a phone number for Willie Jones. Mr. Haas is gonna appear by phone, Mr. Romero.
Okay, Mr.
Willie
Jones, come on
Trayvon
up here.
Jones?
Up here,
Come on up, Ms. Jones. Is it Ms. Jones? What is your name, ma'am?
My last name is Thomas.
Ms. Thomas. Just a minute. I'm gonna get Mr. Haas on the phone, Mr. Jones.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, come on.
Office, how can I help you?
This is Judge Benson. I'm on the bench in the matter of Willie Trayvon Jones. Is Mr. Haas available?
Hold on.
Thank you.
Thank you. He will actually be in the courtroom within 5 minutes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Sit back down.
Okay, ma'am.
False alarm. Okay.
Judge,
Go ahead.
we're ready on Mr. Lazard.
Mr. Lazard. Okay, Edgar Ruiz. Ruiz. Lazard, you are charged. Where is he?
Mr. Lazard, come on out. He's here.
Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Lazard. You are charged with failing to appear in case number 17-1015 MM30A. I do find probable cause. What say you, Mr. Romero?
Judge, Mr. Lazard is inquiring if Your Honor would consider resolving his case today.
Okay, Mr. Lazard, did you just see all the tribulations we just went through with the prior inmate who is charged with a felony for stealing under $300 worth of stuff, because the law says that once you are convicted twice, it'll be a felony. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Okay, so that if you get rearrested on this, you're looking at prison and not county jail. Do you understand that?
Okay.
What says the state?
Judge, Mr. Lazard does have a 2014 withhold on petty theft. To resolve it today, state would suggest a withhold and a no return to the target at 8201 West Federated Roadway in Plantation, Florida.
Mr. Lazard, if you want to resolve your case, I will withhold adjudication. Take judicial notice of the time you've served and order that you not return to the target in, where?
8201 West Federated Roadway in Plantation.
In Plantation. Next time you get arrested, you will absolutely positively be charged with a felony. I do not want to see that happen, okay? Good luck to you, Mr. Lazard. Okay, Travis Whitfield?
Judge, he's still en route.
Okay, no problem. Evan Suktio?
I've been advised, I believe he bonded, Judge.
Okay, great. Antrell Brown?
Mr. Brown?
Good afternoon, Mr. Brown. You are charged with battery on an officer or firefighter. I do find probable cause. What says the state as to bond?
Judge,
What's going on 1 through 4? Sorry.
oh, right.
Judge, counts 3 and 4 and no bond holds on Mr. Brown.
Okay, thank you.
Judge, state would ask for $1,000 on count 5.
Okay, your bond is $1,000. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown has one question. I know he's been in custody since September 24th. He has no bond holds. He just wants to know, as far as this charge, when was the date of the offense?
You don't have a PC, Mr. Romero?
No, I do not.
It is October 7th.
Yes.
October, oh, so it happened while he was in custody?
Yes, sir?
Okay.
Can somebody get a copy of the PC to Mr. Brown?
Yeah, Mr. Brown, I'm going to send you a copy of the PC sheet. It happened at the Broward Health Medical Center.
Thank you, Mr. Brown. Ricardo Garza?
Garza, come on up.
Good afternoon, Mr. Garza. You are charged with possession of cannabis, probation violation. You also have an out-of-county hold on a misdemeanor and a violation of probation. The violations of probation are in case number 16 – help me out, Mr. Butterworth.
859 CF 10A.
859 CF 10A. I do find probable cause. You are on a no bond hold for the out-of-county hold and the violations of probation, but I do ROR you on the possession of cannabis. You will be going before your judge on November 14th at 8:30 a.m. Thank you, sir. That takes us back let me go ahead and call it to Cuesta Pitts. Okay.
What page is request the fix?
It's not on the docket, Hector.
I received an email from the Public Defender's Office requesting that this be, assuring that this be placed. I'm sure you can help me, right?
Yes, Judge.
Thank you, ma'am.
I've been in custody almost 24 hours.
You know which jail she's at? Can somebody look up her location and I could request that she be pulled and we can put her on a recall?
How do we spell the name, Judge?
Pitts, I'm sorry, go ahead.
PIT.
And the first name? Got it. Thank you.
I have TAQ. I have a case.
She's in Maine, Your Honor.
Okay,
TA?
Do you want the arrest number that they usually want
Yes.
that? It's, maybe Hector can help us out. Hector, we need to Cuesta Pitts to be brought to court, and I can give you her arrest number.
Oh, requested
She was only arrested yesterday.
Tuquesta. No, Tuquesta.
Tequesta.
Tuquesta.
Could you spell that?
Taquuesta. Last name is Pitts. Her arrest number is 381-701-649.
Why are you
381 701 649.
So why didn't they put it on the docket right away?
they got the information, they're gonna bring the person down.
She's coming down.
Thank you, Hector.
Ms. Dominguez, is there any, do you need any further information, State?
Yeah, we need a PC and stuff. Without no PC, and the jail doesn't have a PC.
Okay, I think we have a PC.
It doesn't work that way. We just need paperwork for filing and stuff, and the jail needs paperwork.
You could take, the jail could take my paperwork. I don't mind.
Okay, so that,
And Judge, whenever you're ready, I know they brought Mr. Treadway and Mr. Whitfield,
okay,
so they have arrived.
okay. Mr. Butterworth, well, let's just take Mr. Jones, because Mr. Haas has not left the building, but entered the building. You ready on Mr. Jones, Mr. Butterworth?
Yes, Judge.
I'm good, thank you, Mr. Haas. How are you, sir? Mr. Jones, your attorney's here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Jones.
Mr. Haas, do you need to take a look at a PC?
You know, I see what he's charged with, and I know what his criminal history is, Your Honor. I represented him on his 2 cases that were in front of Judge Rosenthal several years ago. He was acquitted on 1 case. It was a withheld adjudication on the other. And that's the extent of
No
any
wonder
felonies
Ms.
that he's
Thompson
got.
wouldn't do anything until you got here. Okay, so what say you as to bond?
I would ask that he be released on his own recognizance on the possession of a firearm by a convicted felon.
What say you, Mr. Butterworth?
Judge, State would disagree. State would ask for a $3,500 bond be placed upon count 1.
Disagree that he's not a convicted felon?
Disagree to ROR.
As to an ROR, I think.
Well, if he's not a convicted felon, the court can't find PC, right? Do you disagree that the court finding PC?
I have via NCIC, he was found to be a convicted felon. If you can give me a second to check that.
Okay. Mr. Haas, if you want to
Step
confer
away.
with Mr. Butterworth,
Sure.
that'd be
Thank you.
absolutely fine. And that takes us to, who did you say? You know what, Mr. Jones? Mr. Haas is just taking a look at the NCIC in your case. That takes us back to Mr. Whitfield, right, Mr. Romero?
Yes, Mr. Whitfield is present, Judge.
Okay.
And Judge, Mr. Whitfield, come on up. He's approaching and he declined the services of the public defender, Judge.
Okay, great. Good afternoon, Mr. Whitfield. You are charged with sexual assault with a weapon on a victim over 12 years of age, possession of cannabis, possession with intent to sell or manufacture or deliver cocaine, trafficking in heroin, and resisting an officer without violence. Your bond in count 2 is $100, count 3, $2,500, count 4, $75,000, and count 5, $100. I set a bond on count 1 in the amount of $150,000. And if you are released, you're on a level 2 monitor. You are to have no contact with Marissa Grant. You're not to come within 1,000 feet of her home or work. You are not allowed to go anywhere except to work. You can go to the grocery store for 1 hour a week, and you can go to church for 1 hour a week. Other than that, you are confined to your home. Anything else pre-trial release? Okay, what bond is that? In case number 17-11933CF10A, your bond is revoked. Thank you, sir. Nathaniel Blaine who is the next one for you, Mr. Romero?
Nathaniel Treadway, Judge.
Okay, Nathaniel Blaine Treadway.
He's approaching, Judge.
Good afternoon, Mr. Treadway. You are charged with possession of alprazolam and violation of probation in case number 16-9706. I do find probable cause. Your bond in count 1 is $1,000, and in counts 2 and 3 you have no bond, but you will be going before your judge on November 15th at 2 o'clock. Thank you, sir. Corey Saunders. Okay, so Mr. Saunders, you had indicated earlier that you did not want to go on PTR. Is that correct? You don't want to go on PTR?
Oh, I said yes, ma'am. I said no.
You do not?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so your bond on count 1 is $1,000, count 2 is $1,000. Possession of a weapon or ammo by a convicted felon, I will set your bond at $10,000, and your bond on count 4 is $100. Thank you, sir.
Ma'am, I wanted to tell you that there was no possession. I had no firearm. It was just a bullet.
Don't discuss the facts of your case, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. Yes, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too.
What was the bond? What was the bond?
10,000 on count 3, and the scheduled bond amounts on the others.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Have a good day.
You too, sir. Jeffrey Lloyd Forrest.
He's here.
Good afternoon, Mr. Forrest. Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, Honor.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Great to see you.
To you as well. Judge Bailey, having previously found probable cause in your case on November 1st, 2017, that leaves the only issue being the bond.
Yes, and Kevin McGill on behalf of Jeffrey Forrest.
What say you as to bond, Mr. McGill?
Judge, he's being held without bond as to some other cases and some violations of probation, so we'd just be asking for standard bond in the current case.
What say you, Mr. Butterworth? The bond will be set at $3,500. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Judge.
You too, sir.
Great to see you.
You too.
Have a good afternoon.
Will do.
Bond? Yeah. Mr. Haas's client?
Yep.
Court's permission, Your Honor, I think we're ready to return to Mr. Jones's case.
Let's go back to Mr. Jones. What say you as to the PC on count 1, Mr. Butterworth?
State would agree, Judge.
Okay, then you're ROR'd on count 1.
Would you ROR him on the additional count of driving
I
on
do.
a suspended
I
license?
did. I already did.
Terrific.
You told me to. I did it.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Mr. Haas, are you on this case? I won't note that for the...
Yes, they'll be retaining me. Thank you.
Take care, Ms. Thompson. Mr. Jones, thank your mom.
Thank you.
There you go.
Good to see you.
You too. Somebody direct me. What is going on with Ms. Pitts?
Oh, Ms. Fitz has been brought, Judge.
Okay.
She's here, okay.
Has the state had an opportunity to review the PC on Ms. Pitts? Somebody let me see it. Okay, so there's an information filed in the matter. Okay, Ms. Dominguez, tell me what's going on. There's an information filed.
And
You need to sign her
I'm
up.
asking that Your Honor place her on a bond. Right now, she has a no bond hold, is charged as first-degree aggravated child abuse. However, if Your Honor reads the information, the language of the information says that it's without causing great bodily harm, permanent disfigurement, or permanent injury to the child. So if there is no great bodily harm, permanent disfigurement, or permanent injury, then it's only simple child abuse, not aggravated child abuse. Ms. Tequesta has a current dependency case that she's been going to court every other month on. She's been going while this case is pending. She had no idea that the charges had been filed. Although the information was filed, there was no court date set or arraignment date set for her, so it's not like she tried to avoid court or not participate in the court process. And what I'm using to cite that, the proposition that it's simple child abuse is Florida v. McDonald.
I'm aware of the case law regarding
Yes.
disfigurement.
And if Your Honor reads the probable cause affidavit, what is alleged is that she hit the child, a 6-year-old child, with a hanger as punishment for some kind of improper touching of another child. So what the information says is under 2C is for malicious punishment, which would be without provocation. But even the police say that when they interviewed the child was told the reason that she was being hit by the mom, it's on the second page, I think on the second paragraph, in the interview with the child, it's because she inappropriately touched another child while she was being babysat, or while
How
the child
old
was
is the child?
6 years old. And
Who was being babysat, the child?
the 6-year-old child and another child.
What says the state?
First judge, as far as the paperwork,
She failed to appear on August the 4th trial for hearing?
I see that the habeas was set on August 4th.
No, Judge, that's just the day where they filed everything. They filed the information, the affidavit, everything.
Yeah, it
But-
shows filed August 4th.
But it was not mailed to her.
Yes.
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 And so 8/4, they issue a KPS, but then no future court date or notice was sent to her. So it's been 2 months, actually 3 months, where she had no idea that this was being filed, but she has been participating in dependency court. Her dependency attorney was here earlier.
Can I just stop you real quick, Ms. Dominguez, and ask, is this a DV case?
No,
No, it's just filed in a regular.
it's filed in a regular,
Okay.
and it's in front of Judge Uson already.
Okay.
And so, there already is an order in dependency court that was signed by Judge Schulman. There is already contact with the children as far as therapy and reunification and classes and all this stuff that they've already ordered. So that wouldn't have to be addressed.
Was there a bond set in this case that she just can't make?
No, there was no bond at all
So she
set.
was-
It says
It's an
the,
out of custody. But it doesn't, if an out of custody KPS is issued on a bondable offense, it's a no bond hold, just because.
yes, it says, yeah, it says no bond, jail
Okay.
hold for magistrate.
Okay.
And
what-
also she,
Let me just
Mhm.
stop you and just ask Mr. Butterworth, we might have a meeting of the minds here. Mr. Butterworth, what is your position as to bond?
Well, Judge, the state would argue that the bond would be substantial because the question is not simply whether there was provocation, but whether there was actual provocation, whether there was
Okay,
Judge,
what,
she-
wait,
oh, sorry.
What's her history?
Judge, she doesn't have it.
Okay. Does she have an address,
Yes, Judge, she has an address.
other than where the children reside? She's not living, and how long has she been at the address?
I'm not sure. I would have to ask her. I know it's been a while because she's been, this case has been on for a little bit. And she does, as a condition, have to have a place where she lives. But
Since May of this year, Judge.
since May.
Is it a place that she's renting?
With grandmother.
Okay, live with the grandmother. And that's not, and grandmother's not taking the children. She doesn't have custody of the children.
Right, the child that, I guess the alleged victim on the case does not live there.
Okay. So, I'm willing to put her on pretrial release on a level 2 monitor. Okay, well then, she's not gonna get out until the sheriff's office is able to, A, verify her address, verify that the children do not come to the address, they do not live at the address. I don't want her near any children until this action has been, until further order of the court on this case.
And Judge, can you make it the same provisions as her dependency case? Because they do allow contact for therapy. It's by Judge Schulman.
Nope,
Okay.
not until Judge Uson takes a look at it.
Okay.
You're not allowed to have any contact with the children. I understand that might be a contradiction to Judge Schulman's order, but until Judge Uson's had an opportunity to review this matter. Ms. Pitts, if you don't want to do this, ma'am, we don't have to do it. We won't do it. You can either get out and commit to following the directions of the court, or you can stay in pending Judge Uson taking a look at the bond in this matter. You want to just wait for Judge Uson?
And, okay.
Well, hold on. Do you? Okay, so you are not going to get out until PTR verifies that there are absolutely no children at this address and that no children are gonna visit this address until further order of the court.
No children in reference to the child that's alleged in the information, correct, Judge?
No, no children at all. Anybody under
Judge,
18 until further
My
order of the court.
understanding, Judge, is that she has a newborn child. The newborn child, she's the sole parental, I guess, figure in that child's life. I mean, I believe from, and I'm just catching wind of all this information, Judge Schulman's aware as far as her newborn child. There's no sort of allegations or anything like that regarding the newborn child.
Okay, so
Then
I think that it's better then that we put this off until tomorrow morning, so that, because over here, the authorities that are in charge of pretrial release and that are in charge of, I'm here, I'm helping. The authorities that are in charge of processing your paperwork and that are in charge of, making sure that you are released under the right terms and conditions have nothing this afternoon. They have nothing. We have been provided with some documentation from your lawyer, but this is not on the docket. We had you pulled. And to be candid with you, I see 8 prior DCF investigations on the probable cause affidavit. And I don't want to make a snap decision based on just a few documents.
If she resets it for tomorrow, you come.
Especially when you're indicating to me that, that you can't follow the terms and conditions because the living arrangements are an issue. So, we'll have this revisited tomorrow morning at 8:30. Can everybody make sure it's on the docket for tomorrow?
Judge.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Pitts. Can you come back tomorrow, Ms. Dominguez? Yes. All right, thank you.
And Judge, also, we're signing Ms. Pitts up as a client for the Public Defender's
Yes, she
Office
is
this morning,
appointed to the
so.
Public Defender's Office, Public Defender's Office is appointed to her, I'm sorry, got it. Yes, sir. Okay, so that takes us to. Do we have Mr. Marshall? Peters Marshall. Okay, Mr. Marshall, I'll tell you why. You're here because I find probable cause that you are charged with violation of your community control in case number 16
I just took care of that this morning. I just took care of that this morning with my.
What judge? What?
You son.
And what did you get sentenced to?
2 years prison, 4 years probation.
Okay. Can somebody verify that Mr. Marshall?
I got my paperwork.
That's okay. It should be in the computer.
Yeah.
Well, I just.
Thank you.
Oh, he's the gentleman that was in court.
Right. And I asked him. Right.
So that does make sense. He just said he just got brought back from court at around 12:30 in the afternoon.
Okay.
So
if I find PC, is it going to mess him up?
it's a good question, Judge.
Just in case we're wrong and it's something different and there's a wrinkle that we don't know about.
Yeah, I was saying. I just took my son and I'm here.
Mr. Butterworth, do you see anything?
The disposition has not yet hit the clerk
Yeah.
system, Judge.
I'm gonna find probable cause and, tell you that you're supposed to go to Judge Usan on the 14th. And I'm gonna double check tomorrow, cause I don't wanna keep you here. I know you lose gain time and good time, so we'll double check tomorrow. I'm gonna keep this paperwork, okay? Are you talking while Mr. Marshall, I'm gonna try to help you out.
Yes, ma'am.
They're gonna verify everything.
Hey.
Like that.
How long that's gonna take?
No, they're gonna probably address you tomorrow again.
Judge, are we gonna go ahead and put him
Yeah,
back on
let's
the
put
docket
it,
tomorrow?
do me a favor, let's put you back on and you bring your paperwork down. Can you do that?
All right.
And just show it to Mr. Romero.
All right.
All right, he's
Great idea,
reset to
Judge.
tomorrow.
All right.
Great idea. Okay, you'll be here tomorrow.
Okay. This is reset. I'll keep this. Okay. That takes us to Mr. Standridge.
He's in North Broward, Judge.
Okay, thank you.
No, Mr. Stanridge.
Standridge?
Hello, Judge Benson, how are you?
I'm good, thank you, sir. Mr. Reedy's been working on your behalf over the break. He's been making his best attempts to try to locate your wife's phone number. The phone number, well, I'll let Mr. Reedy outline what he's done.
Well, I spoke with the officer who arrested Mr. Standridge. He provided me with a phone number. That phone number turned out to not be a good phone number. I spent a lot of time on the phone with Memorial Hospital trying to see if I could get Mr. Standridge's wife's phone number from their records, but unfortunately, they were not able to provide me with that information. Earlier this afternoon before court, Mr. Standridge provided me with another number. I dialed that number. There was no answer at that number. So I have been unsuccessful in my efforts to locate Tammy Standridge at this point. Mr. Standridge has indicated to me she is somewhere in the area. He does not know where. I don't know if she knows where he is. I do know from what the officer told me that when he last saw her, she was at his bedside at the hospital. Mr. Standridge has indicated to me that that's where he needs to go back to, is back to the hospital because of the medical condition that he's in right now. In addition to the physical problems that the court can see, he also has high blood pressure. He has a friend who lives in Hollywood. He does not know the address, but he does know how to get there. So that's, and also from what he told me, he's got a pretty good defense to this case. And I'm not even sure that this is a grand theft auto at this point. I think the court would be well within its rights to not find probable cause for grand theft auto and release Mr. Standridge. I know the court's concern is going to be, where is he going to go? He told me if he can get in a cab or something, he can get to this friend's house. But that's probably the best I can do unless Mr. Standridge has any further information at this time.
Well, Mr. Standridge, do you know who your cell phone provider is? Because my hope is maybe the public defender's office can do some investigating and locate a number for you.
My wife is on a government phone.
Okay.
The government phone that they give out, my wife on one of those phone numbers.
You aware that he has a pending one out of Tennessee from 2013 for fraud?
Okay. No, I'm not. Mr. Standridge, apparently they have done a hit. Okay. They have a hit for a warrant out of Tennessee, not for this charge, but from 2013 for fraud. And so I think that what I'm going...
Non-expeditional. Officer explained to me it was non-expeditional.
Well, that's what we're going to find out. Okay. Maybe a call to Mr. Reedy. Maybe a call to Woodrow's Used Cars might turn up the phone number.
They were supposed to have done that.
Okay. Well, let me see. Let me ask the state. What is Mr. Standridge's criminal history?
Judge, it is an extensive criminal history that includes time in prison for felonious escape, statutory rape, sexual battery, grand larceny, criminal attempt for aggravated battery, burglary, forgery, worthless checks, failure to comply with the sex offender registry, several violations of probation as recent as 2016, and those are all out of Tennessee, Judge.
And as far as his address, he did come to the position of us, Mr. Standridge, this morning in August. He stated that
So, Mr. Standridge, I am going to give the state 48 hours to perfect, either by provision of case law or further documentation, that a hit from another state is enough to find probable cause for grand theft auto. And I am also going to direct, not order, but direct the sheriff to evaluate your medical, to give you a medical evaluation. Is that correct, Mr. Reedy?
I think an order for medical screening would be appropriate.
I will so order.
I'll draft that motion.
And
I'll draft that
I
order.
will see you back here Thursday. We are, and Mr. Reedy and his office, the Office of the Public Defender, is going to continue to make diligent efforts to contact your wife, okay? All right. Thank you very much, sir. Okay. Do we have more? Mr. Demeters is coming back tomorrow, Madam Clerk.
Oh, that's right, you told me.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, Mr. Romero, can you help me out and tell me who we have? I guess we'll start the second look docket.
Your Honor, North Broward's requesting if you could recall Patience Nwagbo.
Absolutely, Deputy. Ms. Nuadbo, I don't have your paperwork. Is this from this morning, Mr. Reedy?
No, Your Honor, it's part of our second look docket.
Oh, okay.
Could you please?
Let me see.
She's been in custody 12 days on a trespass.
Okay, Ms. Nuadbo, you are unable to make the bond that was set on your trespass case. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I don't see her on my docket. Is it? Does
You
it
should have,
begin-
it's Judge.
Yes. Does it begin with an N? Your last name, ma'am?
NWAGBO, first name Patience.
I don't know. Have you all given me that docket?
Thank you.
What says the status to Ms. Nuadbo?
Judge PC was found. Mr. Wagbo has been, in the last 3 weeks, Mr. Wagbo has been, has been found guilty of trespass 2 separate times. It's the same incident it's the same location as I believe this particular trespass is, at Caparella Park. State would offer an adjudication and credit time served.
Copperell Park?
Yes, that's in Tamarack, Judge.
Ms. Nuagbo, what is it at Copperell Park?
What is what?
Why do you keep going back to this park? Apparently they've arrested you a couple times.
Your Honor, I'm not trespassing. Police are terrorizing me there. I'm not trespassing.
Okay.
What are they charging me trespassing? For what reason? I can't be at the park and just show up and say I'm trespassing.
Well, unfortunately, you and I are going to be friends for a long time if you keep going back there. I'd prefer that you weren't going back just for the
Your Honor, I'm not trespassing at that park. I'm not trespassing. It's terror that they are terrorizing me.
Can you go to a different park?
I'm not trespassing at that park.
Or can you promise?
I wasn't trespassing.
Can you,
Police just can't show up at a place and tell somebody they can't stay there. What's the reason? They can't even state the reason why they're arresting me. Just that they don't want me there.
What police?
Okay? I'm not trespassing.
Okay. What
I wasn't
police?
trespassing.
Okay. What police agency is arrested?
Yeah.
Tamarack?
It's BSO.
BSO?
Yes, Judge.
It's fraudulent arrest.
Do you have any interest in resolving the case?
No, I'm not guilty.
Okay. All right. I am going to put you on for tomorrow. Let's take a fourth look. Could somebody bring me the probable cause affidavits on Ms. Nwagbo's case?
Yes, Judge, I'll do that.
Do you have an address? Ms. Nwagbo?
Yes, I have address. Yes, I have address.
Where do
Get
you-
my mail properly.
Where do you live? What is your address?
What's my address?
Yes, ma'am.
My address is from Lauderdale.
Okay, and what is the address?
Do you want the PC right now?
Sure. What's the address?
I get my mail at 1698 Blunt Road, Papanos Beach.
1698 Blount Road.
That's the shelter, Your Honor.
Do they let you stay there? Are you allowed to stay at the shelter?
I get my mail there properly.
But you don't live there. Is that correct?
No, I don't live there. I get my mail there.
Okay, where do you live?
I live in
What's your address where you
I
live?
don't have the address offhand.
Do you have a phone number?
No, I don't have the phone number.
Do you have the name of the person you live with?
They refuse me giving their name. I don't give their name like that.
Okay. All right, let's see Ms. Nwagbo in the morning. Mr. Reedy, can somebody call Pompano and see what unit she's in?
I can tell you, Judge, that we currently represent her on an open case of trespass, and that our office is aware of her situation. And we are in the process of doing everything we can to help Ms. Nawago out. I don't think you need to reset this for tomorrow, as evaluations, I believe, are in the works.
Okay.
Your Honor, for the sake of the paperwork being for today, can you just write no action taken and set individually?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
May I know who is representing me? I
You
don't know
may.
who is.
You're
who
right.
they represent.
You're absolutely right.
Who? I don't have a lawyer.
Yes, you do.
I don't have a lawyer.
We're gonna, Mr. Reedy, what is the attorney's name on the case? You know?
He is from a very well-esteemed history of family attorneys, Your Honor. It's Jeffrey Michelson.
Jeffrey Michelson.
I don't have an attorney. I do not have an attorney. Nobody processed me fraudulent with a fraudulent attorney that didn't see me. I don't have an attorney. I don't. I represent myself. I don't have an attorney.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Mr. Reedy.
Anytime, Deputy.
Do I need to do anything about Mr. Michelson, or you're on it? Okay. He's got it. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reedy. That takes us to, where am I?
Yes, we did it.
Okay.
It is 3,500.
We are going to start then with Jerome Pickett.
Conti, Your Honor.
Are we doing the MM's cases?
Mr. Pickett, how are you this afternoon, sir?
All right, Your Honor.
Mr. Pickett, you're charged with no lodging on city-owned property, a municipal ordinance. It shows that you've been in jail for 44 days. Are you
Yes,
just
ma'am.
are you just in jail on this case?
No, I've been on my felony case, Your Honor, but one more thing. I got another trespass I want to take care of today too. If you got it on your desk.
We're gonna try to get it on my desk then.
All right, Your Honor, he's in custody on a felony case, which he was RR'd on by Judge Solomon. And now he has his pending misdemeanor.
He says he's got two.
There's more time served cases.
He says he's got this one and then he's got a trespass. I can't work out the felony.
No, the
Mr.
felony
Pickett.
I'm already RR'd on.
And now on the ROR, did you provide the clerk with a good address where you'll receive your notices?
For the felony, I'm gonna be at 912 Northwest 9th Avenue, Hollandale, Florida.
Does anybody know if the felony has a court date? If it's been 44 days, I would think he's got an arraignment date.
No, it ain't. I've been RR'd on, it ain't been filed yet, y'all.
Okay, all right. Does the state intend to file on the felony?
These are MO cases.
Right, he says he was ROR'd on a felony, and while I have him here, I like to be able to tell him his court date in the courtroom and all that other good stuff.
Yes, Judge, I will look that up.
What is it?
His felony case, he was RR.
Yes, he's RR.
Yep.
Possession of a controlled substance without a prescription, Your Honor. That's his felony case.
Okay. But like I indicated, if there's some way I can give him his court date in the courtroom while he's standing in front of us, I feel more confident that he's gonna be able to appear in court and he's gonna know.
Yes, Judge.
What I want to do, y'all, I want to take y'all.
Hold on a second, Jerome, hold on.
Right,
Okay.
we're multitasking, Mr. Pickett, I heard you, we're gonna work out.
He actually had an in-custody hearing at 2:30 this afternoon in 1 minute. Oh, that's in front of you? Okay. So that makes sense. He had a court date yesterday that was rescheduled from October 19th in front of Judge Backman.
Yes, Judge, I see in front of Judge Colruyt.
That's the MO case. Hang on 1 second.
Oh, the Backman in South.
Right, Bachman and South.
Yes, the other Judge Backman. see.
Is it under this name? Are all of them under the same name, Mr. Pickett?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Judge, the ones that I'm showing are Pickett with two T's and then Jerome with an E, but it's the same birth date. And I'm
Yeah,
seeing,
11th.
okay, and I'm seeing the same dates as with Judge Bachman, and then with Judge Colrud, that was a 10:30 ROR with no future date.
It was just Judge Cole ROR'd him, and there's no new date on Judge Cole.
I do not see a future
Okay.
date, Judge.
Okay, so let's take care of the Bachman case, and let's take care of this case. Can we do that?
I don't see another case.
Yes, no
I just see this one capias and the felony.
Okay, we don't see a second misdemeanor, Mr. Pickett.
Well, the lady, she looked up on the computer this morning and told me, say, I put him in going December 14th for this case, a trespass.
Well, maybe this is styled as a trespass. No.
It's no lodge on city-owned property, so maybe they.
Yeah, that
told
sounds.
him it was a trespass,
Yeah.
but they didn't know what the official charge was.
Okay, so if you want to resolve your no lodging on city-owned property today, Mr. Pickett, and I believe that this is the only case holding you, it can just be called a trespass. It does have the same elements of trespass.
Yeah, I understand, but I know when I was on the street, I was issued a NTA for trespassing, a no trespassing, and no lodging. With the case would be sleeping on city property.
Okay, same day?
No, two different days, man.
Okay, okay.
I don't see it, Judge.
Maybe they didn't file that. Or maybe
It's not reflected with the sheriff either.
Okay, Mr. Pickett, I'm sorry, if I don't have a case number, I can't resolve it, so I apologize. So I'm just gonna offer that if you wanna resolve this case, I'll withhold adjudication and take judicial notice of the time you've served and waive all your court costs.
Yes, ma'am. No contents, Your Honor.
Okay, and now I need you to promise me that every day you're gonna go to 912 Northwest 9th Avenue and see if you've got something from the court and not miss your hearing on the felony, right?
Right.
Okay.
But also, another thing I want to speak to you about. See, when I get out, I don't want to be picked up. You know what I'm saying? For this no trespass.
I know.
That's the reason why I'm speaking to the court today. You know what I'm saying? Let's take care of it. But you say that you can't see it, so I guess nothing we do about it. But
I'm so sorry. I understand, and that's just none of us see anything. I've got 3 people looking in the clerk's computer and the sheriff's computer, and none of them are finding a trespass. So all I can tell you is that we don't show you have it.
Okay, all right.
I'm sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
Make sure you make it to court on the felony.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to waive the costs. I'm withholding adjudication on the MO and taking judicial notice of the of the time he served.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
John, KJELDGARD.
Conti.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Good. How do I say your name, sir?
Kelgard.
Mr.
Snow
Kelgard,
Region.
okay, you were arrested on October 12th for trespass. You remain in custody on this case only, is that correct?
As far as I know, but I really didn't trespass because that was my sister's residence, and I have my driver's license address on it.
Well, if you'd like to fight it, you can stay in jail and go to court, but
I'll say guilty to the crime.
Okay.
Judge, I show I show a couple of hold on a second, Mr. Kelgard.
Okay.
I see that he's also got what looks like 2 misdemeanor capiases for carrying an open container of alcohol. Oh, he got time served on those. Okay.
Are those resolved?
Those are resolved.
I'm going to withhold adjudication, Mr. Kelgard. That means you'll have no record of conviction and take judicial notice of the time you've served. I'm going to waive your court costs. Listen, you need to get that driver's license changed because she's going to keep getting you arrested, so you can't go back there. You're not allowed to return to your sister's house, okay?
Okay.
All right? If she wants to come to court and change that order, then that's one thing, but don't even let her invite you over for Thanksgiving. Don't go over there.
Okay.
Okay? Take care of yourself, sir. You'll be released today if this is the only thing holding you. Robbie Evans? Robbie Evans.
Paul Ryan, Judge.
Okay. I don't even know what this MO is about. Miss Robbie Evans? Nobody? All right, let's pass it.
Judge, when you get a chance, I know, here at Maine, we still have one person on the second look docket that wasn't addressed and on the 30-day ROR motion.
All right, I'll get there.
Okay.
I'll get there. Curtis, Joseph Curtis?
County, Your Honor.
Thank you.
1 second, he's coming up.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Joseph. You're charged with solicitation and display on a public right-of-way, and you have been in jail since October 23rd. Is this the only charge keeping you?
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Okay, so Mr. Curtis, if you would like to resolve your case, I would withhold adjudication and take judicial notice of the time you've served. I'd waive all court costs and fines. Do you want to do that?
That would be a wonderful deal. I
Okay,
would
sir.
love to do that.
All right, take care.
Take care, ma'am.
Okay, bye-bye. All right. Everybody on the same page? Brian McLaughlin, McLaulin.
He's here, President Judge, and me. Good
Okay,
afternoon, ma'am.
all right. Mr. McLaughlin, how are you, sir?
Good, ma'am, how are you?
I believe this is 2 misdemeanor counts of resisting without, is that correct?
I'm not sure. I know the docket seems to indicate 1 and 2. He's also on the second look docket besides being on the third look. And the second look docket seems to indicate count 1 is the resisting without, but count 2 is a trespass. So
Okay.
I don't have the
What are
actual
you
information in front of me.
Me either. What are you showing, Mr. Butterworth?
Judge, I'm showing that it is 2 counts of resisting without violence.
Okay, is it about giving a false name, or what is the problem?
I just see 1 through 2 resist officer with.
I see a trespass.
Yeah? Where?
I'm looking on BSO pics.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, where is it? No, Mr. McLaughlin, if you'd like to resolve this case, I'm gonna withhold adjudication on both counts and sentence you to just take judicial notice of the time you've served and waive your court costs and your fine, and order that you not return to.
I'm trying to find the judge.
Nineteen 38 Sheridan Street, which is the location where you were arrested.
Yes, ma'am.
You want to do that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Good luck to you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Jasmine Wall.
All right. Yep. All right, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Wall, how are you?
Good.
Ms. Wall, you were arrested on October 17th for petty theft and possession of less than 20 grams of cannabis. You've been in jail for 22 days. Would you like to resolve your case?
Yeah.
I would withhold adjudication on counts 1 and 2 and take judicial notice of the time you've served. I'd waive all fines and court costs. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Judge, Miss Wall has a pending grand theft with a $1,000 bond. Are you going to be able to bond out on that, Miss Wall?
No.
Then I would ask, Judge, I don't think it's in her best interest to resolve these cases. They could have an adverse effect on her sentencing guidelines score sheet. She's not going to get out anyway. I'd ask you to consider reducing the bond on both to $50 each.
Where are you living, Ms. Wall?
Right now I don't have nowhere.
You have no one to live with? How old are you?
18.
That's very nice of you.
Were you in foster care, Ms. Wall?
No.
Okay. Are you from South Florida?
Yeah. My mom just moved out of the state.
Where'd she move to?
North Carolina.
Is there no bed, nowhere for Ms. Wall? When did you turn 18?
March.
someplace that will accommodate Ms. Wall so she can have a place to live.
I was planning on going to Covenant House when I leave here.
Okay?
Would that be okay?
That would be okay. Are they still down at A1A?
Yeah.
You know where they are?
On Breakers Avenue.
Yeah, that's
A1A.
that's A1A. Okay, so Ms. Wall, I'm gonna release you to Covenant House, okay? I want you to go to Covenant House. You're gonna call pretrial release. As soon as you get there, I want you to, call them once a week. I want you to report to them within 48 hours of your release and let them know that you're living at Covenant House. Who at Conti can give her the information again? Do you have any kind of phone?
No. But I can ask people to call in. That's not the problem with the phone.
Yes. We'll be right with you. Ms. Wall, what is your mom's phone number?
I don't know my mom's phone number.
You don't have an old phone number for her?
I have an old one, but she don't have that phone number no more.
How about grandparents? You have a grandparent phone? You have one family member. All I need is one family member phone number.
No, they stay all out of the country.
Where do they stay?
Venezuela.
So you don't have a phone number for Venezuela for your grandparents?
No, I would have to get it when I leave. I don't have it on me.
Okay, well, what is the grand theft involved? What judge is she on? Yeah, well, I can't leave her in fall rain. That's no place for her either. So, I am gonna release you to Covenant House. You're to, report to PTR within 48 hours of your release. You're to report to them on a weekly basis. If you leave Covenant House for any reason, you are to report directly to PTR, okay? And you have a lawyer that I want you to, your lawyer is Jennifer Edgley. What is her phone number, Mr. Reedy? We're gonna provide you with your lawyer's phone number, pretrial release's phone number, and the contact information for Covenant House. Can we get that to her, Mr. Reedy?
Ms. Wall, if you have maybe you could borrow a piece of paper and a pencil from one of the deputies.
He said he's gonna write it.
Who's going to write it for you? All right, Deputy, the address of Covenant House is 733 Breakers Avenue, Fort Lauderdale, 33304. Their phone number is 954-561-5559.
Also, Ms. Edgley's phone number, the public defender.
Yes, Judge. Yes, Judge, I will look that up now.
For some reason, I'm never able to open up our employee phone number list from this location. We can give her the main number, Judge.
Yeah, if you call 6750, Ms. Gingras will give it to you.
Judge, Ms. Wall is with Judge Colra, but there's no future date.
Yes, ma'am.
For the grant that time, we're gonna need an order ready, because that actual account wasn't old enough.
Okay.
There's no date, Your Honor, because it's not been filed yet.
So if you're not, if the judge was ordered to put on pre-trial for that grant, that we need a separate order.
Judge, I'm not going to be able to give her Miss Edgley's number.
I'm on it.
Okay.
What is Jennifer Edgley's extension? Wait. 954, you hear me, Dap?
Yes, ma'am.
831 8639
2639
8639.
8639.
Yes, sir. That's Ms. Wall's public defender, Ms. Edgley's phone number.
Yes, ma'am. Got it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Wall. We'll get the information to you as soon as we... Tremaine? Yeah.
She's right there. Miss Wall?
Ms. Wall, come back. I'm giving her 48 hours. Yeah. You know you're gonna go to pretrial in 48 hours, right?
Yes.
And you're gonna get there for me, right?
Yes, I promise.
Okay, Ms. Wall. Excuse me? Yes. Just make sure you include pretrial and then make sure it doesn't say custody. Tremaine Walker.
Mr. Walker's here present, Judge? That mean?
Good afternoon, Mr. Walker. You've been here for 112 days on unlawful use of a false name. You were arrested in July. Do you have anything else holding you?
Judge, from my conversation, he was here on a violation of probation. He resolved it. He was sentenced to county time. I believe the county time has since terminated, so now this is the only thing left outstanding. And speaking with Mr. Walker, he's looking forward to his day in court regarding this offense. So I don't think he's interested in resolving it. But considering he's been in custody all this time, Judge, would you ROR Mr. Walker so that he could fight it from the outside?
Where are you going to live, Mr. Walker?
He's homeless, Judge.
I'm homeless, ma'am.
You don't have any address to mail a notice to you?
No, ma'am.
We'll put him on for tomorrow and I'll take a look at the PC.
Yes, Judge.
Let's reset Mr. Walker to tomorrow. I'd like to see his PC. Jermaine Sands?
Medical reset, Your Honor.
Let's reset him. Crystal Jones? Anybody? Crystal Jones.
Medical loan, Judge, I've been advised.
Okay, thank you, sir. Dale Wells, released. Is that correct? Delete.
Yes, Judge.
All right. That takes us to Michael Curry. Good afternoon, Mr. Curry. You've been charged with DUI, DUI U-Ball, DUI with damages, expired driver's license, and failure to use due care. What is his bond?
Your Honor, these are the 30 days, see if they were filed.
Oh, I'm
or not.
sorry. Thank
So
you.
This has been filed, Your Honor.
Okay, they have filed charges. What is the scheduled bond amount for a DUI? 500, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Mr.
But it's not for count 2.
Mr. Curry, Mr. Curry, your bond in count 1 is 500, count 2 is 1,000, count 3 is 1,000, and count, yes.
For
He also has a no bond violation of probation hold, Judge.
Oh, all right, so your bond in count one is 5,000, count two is 1,000, count three is 1,000, and I'm RORing you on the other two. You are currently on a no bond hold for violation of probation. Thank you very much, sir. Yes.
John, when will I be able to see my, for the, violation of probation? I've been here since August 24th.
Yeah, who is he on probation with, VSO?
He's on Broward probation, but Your Honor, for count one, you are decreasing his bond from 10,000.
Well, I just understood that he's on a no bond hold anyway.
I understand, but I'm just saying, because
Yes.
they're gonna have to, the clerk is gonna have to
Okay,
rewrite something
I'll leave his
saying
bond
that the
at 10,
has been
I'm sorry,
decreased.
I will leave his bond at 10,000. Who is he supposed to go before? He says he's been here since August without an opportunity to go
Brian,
before.
who's probation? You said Brian. Do you have it?
Last trial was this case, but the probation. Judge, it's with Judge Rothschild. And I
Michael Rothschild.
Yes, and I see there's a status hearing tomorrow.
You're going before Judge Rothschild in the morning, sir.
Thank you
Good
very
luck
much,
to you.
Your Honor.
Yes, sir. Jasmine Phillips?
Hi, how are you doing today, ma'am?
I'm good, thank you, Ms. Phillips. How are you, ma'am?
I'm not doing that well.
Okay, well, you're charged with possession of PCP, a third-degree felony. You were arrested on October the 11th. If you were released, where would you go to live?
I currently would probably go back to my sister's house.
What's her address?
2403 Northwest 80th Street, Miami, Florida, 33147.
Yes,
Your Honor.
yes.
Sorry about that. The case has not been filed. She's
Okay.
filed for an ROR.
Okay, I'm releasing you to your sister because they have not filed the charges against you. Therefore, you're entitled to release. Hopefully, that'll be the end of it, but I want you to know that the state attorney can pick you back up, okay? If they do determine to file the charges.
Okay, so I'm getting released. My sister don't even know I'm in jail.
Okay,
I don't.
call her up and tell her you're coming. Tell her to come get you, okay?
Oh, okay, so you just releasing me?
Yes, ma'am.
So I'm going home?
Yes, ma'am. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Stephen Sistrunk?
Mr. Sistrunk is here present, Judge of Maine.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Judge, charges have not been filed yet, therefore Ms. Sistrunk is entitled to an ROR.
Okay, Mr. Sistrunk, the state has not filed charges against you, so you will be released.
Your Honor, he will not be released. I will notify them and advise them that he is ready for pickup.
Okay, you will not be released. You are now going to go to Hendricks County. Thank you, sir. That takes us to Mr. Mohammed Elmu Tawakal. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir. Has the state filed charges on Mr.
No, Your Honor. He has two cases. One on page 4 and one on page 5.
And I
both
have
are
page
RORs.
3. Okay, as to burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, case number 17-11349 CF10A, based on the state's representation that they have not filed charges, you are released. And then again, as to burglary of a conveyance unoccupied, case number 17-11349 CF10A, the state has indicated that they have not filed charges and you are released.
Your Honor?
Yes?
He's also in custody for a case that is not assigned a case number by the clerk's office. It's for a larceny of a credit card. Our office contacted the clerk of court today to see if a case number can be assigned. This charge has a $100 bond plus pre-trial with the GPS. So unless he would have to post bond on that particular charge.
Okay, did you hear that, sir?
No,
Okay, there is a third case that does not have a case number assigned. It's larceny with a credit card. The bond in that case is $100. You would, I believe you were here when a different judge imposed the terms and conditions of pretrial that you have a GPS monitor. So if
Yeah.
you, in the event you are able to make the $100 bond on that case, you will be required to report to pretrial and get a GPS.
Okay, I got a question. Is,
Oh, yeah.
other than that larceny, is there anything else holding me, ma'am?
Doesn't look that way.
No, sir, that's the remaining charge.
Because to my knowledge, I had 3 burglaries of a conveyance.
You have 2 counts on one and 1 count on the other.
Oh, okay, understood.
Okay.
Sorry, I got one more question. Can I just resolve the misdemeanor today? Is that possible?
No, sir, it goes with the felony.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so $100 bond, and then okay. Thank
Yes,
you,
sir.
ma'am.
Thank you. Nicholas Register.
Mr. Register's here, Main Judge.
Thank you.
How
What
are
says
you,
how are you, sir? What says the state as to Mr. Register?
On Ms. Register's case, Judge, the state has not filed, so therefore Ms. Register is entitled to the ROR.
Okay, Mr. Register, the state having represented that they have not filed charges outside of the time limitations, you are hereby released on this case.
Thank you. Have a beautiful day, Your Honor.
You too, sir. Does that take care of that docket?
I think we're done here at Main Judge.
On this docket?
Judge, I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Don't leave me yet, Mr.
I'm
These the ones that are,
Oh, no, that's a different docket. That's the 14th look docket.
I know.
Right, I checked, these are all filed.
Okay, Michael Curry. Okay, Jasmine Phillips. Okay, Steven Sistrom, did him. I'm remembering, it's starting to come back to me. Let me see if this is the one. Yeah, Joseph Curtis. What page is he on, Mr. Reedy?
I've got him on page 5. He's right underneath Mr. Elmo Watakal's other case.
Okay, Desjuan Jacobs? Anybody? I think
He should be at Maine.
Mr.
Who are you
Romero,
looking for, Judge?
what did you do with Desjuan Jacobs?
This one, Jacobs,
He's on page 5 of one of the dockets.
page 5 of the third look docket,
Is it the
or
third or
the
the second?
regular docket that was today?
It's
Page
the,
5.
Report that last docket that came out, it came out about 1 o'clock,
okay, so we're gonna put him on for tomorrow.
so it's a possibility that they got it.
Okay, let's put him on for 8:30. Mr. Romero, can you tell the deputy to put Desjuan Jacobs on for the morning? He's on,
Do you have his arrest number? So
yes,
1217
1217 00
00.
711
I didn't hear that.
711.
711.
170000711. And I show he's been no infoed. The 2 petty thefts have been no infoed. He's got a change of charge to a grand theft on the count 1. He had a misdemeanor violation of probation that he got time served on. So the only thing I'm showing him in custody on right now is a petty theft third offense for a $750 bond.
Evans did, yeah, I called out Evans and nobody showed, so we gotta put him on for the morning unless somebody knows that he was released. Robbie Evans. Nobody answered. Curtis Joseph is a withheld and judicial notice of time. McLaughlin is a withheld and judicial notice of time. He never showed. I called out for Evans and no response. Please, for tomorrow morning. Crystal Jones. Medical reset.
Right.
Okay. Here, you want my notes? Just in case. Okay, now you're excused, Mr. Romero. You know how-
Take care, John. I'll see you tomorrow morning.
I just enjoy telling you to stay, so.